everyone. Welcome to the Duncan Showroom, specifically those that are out there watching tonight or at a later date, which is what this is all about. What we're doing is we're putting together for the 10th anniversary of the passing of Willie P. Bennett, a great Canadian singer-songwriter. What we're going to do tonight is I've invited 3 or 4 friends to come around and just pick some tunes that work for them. One of the things I've noticed is that a lot of us that are out here on the West Coast now are originally Easterners, and so we were greatly affected. I first met Willie in London, Ontario, before he even got on stage with the Bone China Band. I remember walking down the street and running into him. I was on my way leaving New York. No, I was on my way to New York, and he was on the way walking out. I remember the parking lot. He was on the way up the street, and he got to Smale's Face that day, and I went in. We met a few times after that, had a lot of fun. Over the years, I got to meet up with him again, and in my early part of my sobriety, I got to drive Willie across the country on a couple tours, and made me feel real special. And one of the things that I felt like the guy, that we had this bonding that was really intense, that worked out really well, because someone who got to know me, and even after we'd finished those tours, we stayed in contact, and like brothers, and always one. But the thing I've noticed in the 10 years he's been gone, especially by all the posts on the internet and all that, talking to people, was I was one of many that Willie took the time to make them feel special. He made us all feel special, and that was one of his great capabilities. Yes, he is sorely missed, and that's just the way it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that as many Canadians as we can, or people throughout North America, do not forget the name Willie P. Bennett, because one of the things why I was first attracted to him is he was a songwriter. He wrote some really good songs. He wrote things that sort of got me through days when I didn't know I would ever get through that day, right? Sometimes it made me smile just from hearing the song. I remember introducing a lot of people to it, to his music over the years and across the country, where every time you did that, you felt like he had succeeded in doing something, because they walked away just as enamored as you had become. So it's a great privilege again tonight to ask these people to come up, play the music that they've kind of that affected them in a ways that made them decide that these are the songs they wanted to play tonight. So it's a little vignette. You can watch it at a later time. Make sure you spread the word, Willie P. Bennett. Have people go to his website. Jackson Haldane put out a little challenge. So if there's anybody out there who finds a Willie P. song that they like, you can always just do it on a little recording. It doesn't have to be a fancy one. Do it on your phone, but post it. Learn about the man, Willie P. Bennett, and his songwriting. Our first person up tonight is Tony Turner. Now, Tony spent a lot of his time in the Ottawa Valley, working out of Ottawa. And there's a strong, amazing folk scene in the Ottawa. It's not there anymore. But what was the name of the store? The Ottawa Folklore Center. It was like just a hub of everything that went on, right? Because of that, there was a scene in Ottawa that was committed to folk music, right? And so Willie had the opportunity to go and play there quite a bit. And again, when Willie came to play, people went to watch, and people were affected, and a lot of people learned a lot about themselves and learned how to write songs just by observing what he did. And Tony is one of those people that was, again, greatly affected by what Willie did, and we're very fortunate that he's now moved out. Tony has now moved out to Nanaimo, so we'll get a chance to hear him a lot more. And so for Chris White, who might be watching tonight, because I know, if not tonight, at a later date, hey Chris, you guys run a great folk scene back there in Ottawa. You keep it up. So Tony, if you come to the stage, we'll get Tony to start off our evening of the entertainment. Come up the Fred Astaire's. You like the Fred Astaire's? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, you sit back and enjoy. He's got 6 songs, I think, or something like that for you. And he'll tell little stories as he goes along. Sit back and enjoy.
Hey. Thanks, John. Hi, everyone. Everyone on the internet, everyone in the room. Yeah, I'll try to tell a little Willie story between every song. I guess I'll start with one that I first heard of Willie P. Bennett. I was living on a farmhouse in 1976 with some friends of mine, and we heard and he had I think Willie's first two albums had come out, at least his first album, and we played that a lot in various states of awareness and unawareness and altered states of awareness, and it just seeped into my pores. Once I was a rich man, a gambler was my game, till I saw her cool beauty, inside her dance my flame. She watched till my desire was turned from me to her. I watched till I was blinded, and then she touched me there. Give her diamonds for her fingers and rhinestones for her hair. Give her dresses for her body, but don't ever give her care. She'll curse you and she'll haunt you and do it with a smile, even when you're on the long road and been down it many miles. I gave her all she needed, I loved her all I could, but she wanted more, boys, I never understood. And the times that I would leave her, I never could decide. Say I was gone for good then, or just for one last ride. Give her diamonds for her fingers and rhinestones for her hair. Give her dresses for her body, but don't ever give her care. She'll curse you and she'll haunt you and do it with a smile, even when you're on the long road and been down it many miles. Even when you're on the long road and been down it many miles. Thanks very much. I'm just going to switch guitars here just to keep things interesting. This is a more full sound guitar, regular guitar. Yeah, so I first heard Willie in 1976. I don't remember where I first saw him. It was sometime in the late 70s, I guess. It wasn't down in southern Ontario where he sort of got going at Smale's Pace and down there, and then got in with the Dixie Flyers and that sort of thing. We used to listen to that too, and But I remember once I saw him at Carleton University. Were you with me, Sharon? I can't remember. Yeah. And for some reason, the whoever was putting it on forgot that they needed a sound system. Was not there, and Willie shows up, and he was so good about it. He just, I think he even had to kind of pull the stage together, and he just got up on, and there was a very small audience, and he played his heart out, and he was just so gracious about the whole thing. He just rolled with it. It was quite good. And it was such an intimate show to see him in that setting. So that was one time I saw him live, and I always loved every song that he ever did. The right one, yeah. This is another one from the early Willie. Well, if you have to choose, take the one you love the best. Not the one who wants you just to hold you to her breast. She'll be great in bed. She only wants to get into your head. She'll always ask, what was that you said to me in the other room? Well, if you have to choose, take the one you love. Not the one who wants you just to feel that you were above her. You can lie to her, won't mean nothing to you. She'll show pain, but she'll never see through. She only wants to hear those words, I love you, more than anything. Well, if you have to choose, take the one you love. One who could leave you when you've both had enough. She don't want very much, the love that you bring her, the feel of your touch, but every day is not necessary. You can roam away. Thank you. Thanks very much. I was going to do this. I keep switching back and forth between guitars, but that's okay. We got time. Yeah, I was telling people this is my high string guitar, Nashville tuning, whatever you want to call it. Actually, I don't think I'm going to play harmonica on this one. Yeah, and it's like a high strings of a 12-string guitar. And it just gives a little different texture, and it's his first public performance, so... And this is from one of his later albums. And John mentioned that that Willie was such a gracious and warm fellow. And one thing I know, and I can tell this when I've met we meet a bunch of musicians over the years. You know, it's the ones that remember your name. That you know that they're not just into their own little world. They're thinking about other people, and he was one of the ones. I was lucky enough to play Eaglewood Festival, which is a festival up in down around Lake Simcoe, and Willie was playing that festival as well. And and I hadn't seen him in a long time, and he said, "Hi Tony, how you doing?" So and yeah, so we chatted a bit over there and a number of other times. And he was such a wonderful man. Hardest part, babe, is smiling when your plans don't work out. Count yourself lucky one. Well, God's so smart, we were born with two hands reaching out, and a heart that knows the joys of love, the stars above. Lucky ones. Whoa, the lucky ones. Have this dream, to dream it all. Whoa, the lucky one who never stumble and fall. Searching for a hot love deep in the city is deep in his heart. Searching the scene, he raises his black glove. He wants to love, doesn't know where to start. Oh, the lucky ones to have this chance to dream it all. Oh, the lucky ones who never stumble and fall. Wino wakes up on the street, counts his feet, sees there's two, counts himself a lucky one. Well, God's so smart, we were born with two hands reaching out, and a heart that knows the joys of love and the stars above. Ones. Whoa. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, switch again. So one of the things I did, John mentioned the Ottawa Folklore Center too, and that's like it was the hub of all things folk in the Ottawa area, and it's a great place. Unfortunately, it went bankrupt a few years ago, but Arthur McGregor, who ran that for 35 years, was really good about supporting local musicians, people like Lynn Miles and Terry Tufts and Ian Tamblyn and other people, and you know, when he came through, and one of the things I did, they used to put on workshops at the Folklore Center, and you know, I took a harmonica workshop from Willie, and that was fun because he was like the best. Like, I don't know, I can sort of get through playing harmonica a little bit, but I mean, he had such good tone, and I saw him do another harmonica workshop at the Ottawa Folk Festival once, and he was doing it for all age ranges, and he could play like 3 octaves, no problem at all, on one of these harps. And one of the things he taught me, and I always think of him when I do this, is when I'm playing in a minor key, like if I'm playing an A minor, use a G harp. Doesn't sound like it's logical to a lot of musicians, but that's what you do, and it sounds, especially when it's bluesy in a minor key, then that's what you do. So he taught me that little trick, and that was cool. You got lace, pretty flowers, give your baby, get her under your power. You got scents and sweet perfumes, you know she might come up to your room. But if you've got soul, you know she's gonna bowl you over. When my baby rolls me over, I feel like I wanna fly, like I wanna fly. You got satin, lots of money, diamond rings and such things to trap your honey. You got big black horse, you want to let her ride, give it all to her, she might come over to your side. But if you've got love and a deep devotion, get just as deep as the ocean, but just you two inside, just you two inside. mansion in the country, give it all to her, she could still be empty. You could be the richest man in the world. There's nothing I know of that'll buy you the heart of a girl. But if you've got love and a deep devotion, gets just as deep as the ocean, with just you two inside, just you two inside. Thank you. Lay some pretty flowers. So what do you like, the sound of this guitar? You like the sound of the high string? Do you like both? It's different? Okay. I'm going to switch again. Here's a song from his album Heartstrings. I think that won him a Juno back in the day. Although I think he said that, you know, it was really his best work was the earlier work then. I mean, all of his songs are good, but it's just funny how that works, getting acknowledged. I think he's acknowledged more now since his passing in some ways, and recognizes what a great songwriter he was. So that's the way it is. Well, I first saw her on the Kini Fork River, thought her daddy'd rather shoot her than ever forgive her, falling for one of the McCallum clan. But what do you expect? He's a feudin' man. Every day before breakfast, her mama said, "Daughter, it's time to get a bucket and go and fetch water." She skipped past the bath to the cool green water, but heading to the Kini Fork River. Kini Fork River, the Kini Fork River, like water everywhere, it's a taker and a giver. She touched it to her body, she touched it to her lips, so I wish I was the Kini Fork River. Ooh. Well, there's no sense thinking that you might get caught, 'cause your lucky streak's been a-running hot. I couldn't swim, so I started to cross, hanging on to the branches of a hollow log. Well, the log hit a rock and I went to the bottom. My body washed away late last autumn. My spirit still lingers in the cool, dark water that washes the skin of Ferguson's daughter. The Kini Fork River, the Kini Fork River, like water everywhere, it's a taker and a giver. She touched it to her body, she touched it to her lips, so I wish I was the Kini Fork River. The Kini Fork River, Kini Fork River, like water everywhere, it's a taker and a giver. She touched it to her body, she touched it to her lips, so I wish I was the Kini Fork River. Ooh. Thank you. So I just learned this song, and I think it's a really great song. I'm really gonna learn it by play it more. for this. Like, I think we can agree that like Willie was really good, but like his he really could probe the depths of love, eh? For some reason, I always think of Willie as a November songwriter. I don't know. It's just something he just like. It's sort of sweet and bitter, and a little bit of all that world. And mind was sinking in a sea of darkness. My eyes were blinded by the night as you. Your reasons for leaving were not that harmless. The lessons I learned were both straight and true. Stars were rising in a light of triumph. The time for leaving was about half gone. The sun was drowning in a sea of silver. My heart was as low as the sun in the dawn. So come on, let's go down to the water and show me what you think is the truth. You know that you could. Let's go down to the water. I'll show you my crown if I could. My mouth was frozen in 1,000 faces. My words were hanging in the air. My thoughts were scattered in 1,000 places. How come you start running out so scared? Time was running on a little further. The moon was rising right beside your head. Do you always lose yourself in someone else's need? Always looking to find a bed. So come on, let's go down to the water. Show me what you think is the truth. You know that you could. Let's go down to the water. I'll show you my crown if I could. Thinking of the wings of a seagull, spending my time on everyone. You could keep on reaching forever and forever without ever touching anyone. So come on, let's go down to the water. Show me what you think is the truth. You know that you could. Let's go down to the water. I'll show you my crown. I'll show you my crown. I'll show you my crown if I could. Thank you. Thank you. So, how are we doing for time? Okay, I'll do one more then. Well, I want to thank Long John for putting this event on. It's an opportunity to check out this venue. I've just been on Vancouver Island for 7 months with my lovely wife Sharon here in the front row. And we're loving it. And yeah, and it's a chance to check out this lovely venue. And yeah, thanks John for putting on this event. There's Willie P. Bennett tributes going on in Ontario and a lot of other places, and yeah, it's a good thing. He's deserves to be remembered, and thank you for inviting me to do this. Got me a chance to remember some songs that I hadn't played in a while and learn some new ones, so that's always a good thing. For such a great songwriter like Willie. It's another one I just kind of learned too. And stay tuned for the rest of the other performers tonight. It's going to be a nice evening. So you people on YouTube, hang around. Or fast forward. Baby, if I'd been a gambler, life could have turned out a different way. But lately, everywhere I go, I have to use the highway. And if I'd been born somewhere else, this could have been a different day. But like the rise and the fall of a country squall, I'm getting ready to fade away. Sometimes I feel like I could be in a different place. Somebody else's mind, somebody else's face. Lately I've been feeling low with nothing to do and nowhere to go. And like the rise and the fall of a country squall, I'm getting ready to fade away. Birch tree, staring up at the winter sky, listening to the blackbird sing. There's no tears left to cry, and no reasons I can think of why you should end the race. And like the rise and the fall of a country squall, I'm getting ready to fade away. Like the rise and fall of a country squall, I'm getting ready to fade away. Thank you all very much. Stay tuned for the next act.
So many things going through my mind right now. So first of all, that's the first time I've heard that many Willie P songs sung in live in a long time. I mean, I had the opportunity of sitting down and probably witnessing many a show that Willie did. And matter of fact, the Duncan Showroom experience, that's what it all came about. We were doing a tour across the country in, I think it was 88, and somehow or other, we got to the West Coast, we went back. That was a good story, because he asked me, he said, if you get the car, I'll pay the gas. So I found a car, and we drove across, and we were on the way back, and I said, we're just about outside of Ottawa. I said, well, do you think I should buy it? He said, what? I said, well, I was just taking it for a test drive. I told the guy I was going for a test drive 6 weeks ago. We went, what? I said, well, should I buy it? He said, okay, better. So we coughed up the money and we bought it. He had no idea along the way that would be it. I wasn't going to tell him. Anyway, fun stories. But anyway, so what happened was that in going across the country and doing many shows, it was always, they were in bars. There were very seldom, like there was the occasional house concert, but then in house concerts over the years we learned that you had to really let the person and the people coming to the house concert understand that it wasn't a private party. There was actually a listening show, right? And it was always about listening, because I think that Willie had a lot of things to say. Now, I'm not a musician by any means. I mean, by little, I play the nose flute and a little bit of banjo, but I have noticed over the years that the many musicians I've worked with, my job is to create the magic. Their job is to replicate the magic. And the acknowledgement of who Willie was and always stood out in my mind from other musicians. So as it came time and looking, we had been out at Vimy Hall for the Rain Festival, the first Rain Festival that week. That's how the Rain Festival came about. Lynn Miles was in that one, and Born in McLeod. And when Willie was on stage, I set up a nice little stage with a fake fireplace. It was great, and a little fake fire, which unfortunately turned around in a key that wasn't the key he was singing in, and in the rhythm that he wasn't playing in. And he pointed that out, and I went, oh my God, what'll I do next? Well, as it turned out, Vimy Hall didn't work out for us the way we wanted to, and I was in a bit of a turmoil inside when I inherited the 150 soft seat theater seats from the Jehovah's Witnesses. So then I went around with the wheel looking for the car to fit it, found the venue and said, hey Willie, I think I'm going to create the venue that you should be playing in all the time. And I had him play there a couple times before I actually got it down to the fine line where he said, yes, it's okay. I actually had to move a speaker out 4 inches from the wall, until he came back just to make sure that, is that okay, Willie? And I got the nod that it was okay. So all the way along, the whole showroom experience has been about an honor to Willie P. Bennett, that you, the audiences, and the world should be, when you're in the presence of a songwriter who's giving out their heart and soul, you should be listening and going on the journey that they're willing to take you on. And Willie always took us on journeys. And tonight's been just, already the 6 songs have just kind of gone like, wow, what a breadth of genre. Like, what styles did he write in? What didn't he do? By the way, I want to put this out there. Nathan Rogers, thank you for the Mongolian singing. That version you did, it's just pretty incredible. There's a lot of things that have been done celebrating this man. But right now, Joe Sharon's in the audience, and he's going to be getting up. He came all the way over from Vancouver because he too has been affected by the wonderful, the wonderful, great Willie P. Bennett. A Muskoka boy. Matter of fact, it was through Willie's connection, he got Pat Temple to get a hold of me. Pat Temple. Pat Temple's the guy that gave me Longevity John. You can call him long for short, but you can't call him short for long. Anyway, he was the one that gave me that moniker, and that was only through Willie that I met him. And Pat and Willie were the best of friends, Pat lives in Rayboro, just outside of Peterborough. And of all the people, I mean, I would get phone calls from Willie about once a month, sometimes twice a month. Pat would get him twice a week, wherever he was, just checking in, making sure things were going well. And when he would be back in Peterborough, I remember some of the stories of Pat getting a hold of me going, heard from Willie today. He went for a drive in that van of his, and found, and I've been back there. Like, it's really hard to find obscure roads in around Peterborough, but he would find them and go up them to places where you couldn't turn the van around, and he would have to go find cell phones. Pat, could you come get me? Where are you? I don't know. Pat would just shake his head. I don't know what's going on with that boy. There was just a sense of adventure, right? And that's what he did. And it's unfortunate. It's not like it was a stupid thing, although it was a stupid thing, heart attack, you know, and a diagnosis that could have possibly have gone a different way, but it doesn't really matter. It's what happened. We have to live with it. We have to live without him. But we're going to duplicate as much as we can the songs that he wrote, the things that he did, the energy that he put out. It was one of the things he was known about. I remember going to a Fred show once in Vancouver in a club, which I couldn't figure out why they put him in this club, but he put Fred in early. And there was this young band from Seattle that came up. Were somewhere in the States, and they were alt rock. Well, they weren't alt rock. They wore cowboy hats. And they didn't really, I mean, it was youth trying to do something that they thought was new, and there was Fred on before them. But the part that got to me was, and I think Washboard Hank was on that one too, right? So what happened was they came to the end of the song, and now you got all these young kids that have come in for their band, and they're not really expecting to know what the hell is this guy Fred. Like, they've caught maybe 5 songs, 4 songs, some of them only 2 songs. The show's over, big applause, everything's fine. Well, that was the second last song. Then, that's what it was. Fred introduced the band, and as he went around, well, you know, they got to Washboard Hank. It was just like, who is this crazy guy, right? And then they came around and all the way, and then they got to Willie P. And I've never heard anyone give as much. Like, the audience was all over it because of the energy he put out. Everyone noticed when he was on stage, no matter who he performed with. As a sideman, he gave 155%. Anyway.
Yes, he did.
Joe Sharon was a friend of his. Another great songwriter in Canada. He's got a new album coming out, and I know he's been greatly influenced by the writings of Willie, and they got a chance to share some time together. I think in a bottle or 2 of vino too.
More
Maybe.
I promised him I'd never talk about that.
No, we have our stories that the wonderful Pat, well, through Pat Temple and through Willie P. Bennett, that go on and on and on. This is Joe Sharon. Please give him a warm welcome. He's going to turn you on for a while.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Once there was a rich man, a gambler was my game. Till I saw a club beauty, it said to dance my flame. I watched till my desire was turned from me to blue. She watched till I was blinded, and then she touched me there. Give her diamonds for her fingers, rhinestones for her hair. Give her dresses for her body, don't never give her care. She'll curse you and she'll haunt you, do it with a smile. Even when you're on the long road, you've been down it many a mile. Well, I gave her all she wanted, I gave her all I could. Though she wanted more boys, and I never understood that the times when I would leave her, I never could decide whether I was gone for good then, or just for one last ride. Give her diamonds for her fingers, rhinestone for her hair. Give her dresses for a buddy, but I'll never give her care. She'll curse you and she'll haunt you, and do it with a smile. Even when you're on the long road, you've been down it many miles. Even when you're on the long road, been down it many miles. Thank you very much. But the first song I ever heard Willie sing was one of the songs on his first album on Trying to Start Out Clean. It's a great record produced by David Essig. David did certainly the first two, maybe the first three of Willie's albums. He definitely did Hobo's Taunt, and I think probably Blackie and the Rodeo King. Anyway, this song, I think it might have been at Mariposa where I saw Willie do it. I can't remember exactly, but probably. It's just like so many of Willie's songs, this song can rip your heart out. And he, as Tony mentioned, he could get really deep into the human experience and the humanness of us. And I don't know, there aren't too many other writers that I can think of, at least in my experience, that could get down that deep. Anyway, this is called Storm Clouds. Water was right, docks in the stream bed. The wind, it was rising up slow, getting ready to bend the trees at the end of the road where the storm clouds were growing. I stood there and I watched and I waited for the rain. The dust swirling round, people were running in vain, and the thunder rolling in like a midnight train. I said the sky's eyes tonight won't be open, not while the storm clouds are rolling. There was skin-popping laughter, feeding our freedom, having the times of our lives, getting ready to follow the waves without knowing the clues. The people I found could not make a sound. It seemed that they'd been through that door. I said, don't be surprised, it disappears before your eyes. You know, waves race the shore. Once they're there, they're not anymore. It's not the sound of the rains that makes me feel lonely, nor the gray skies that give me blues. It's just the weight of some miles and all the useless disguises I've had to sit here and watch people use. I've had to sit here and watch people use. La 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 la. Well, my friends and me, we don't play too much now. We just talk about things that we've heard, wishing for just a little more time. wanting a whole lot more nerve. It's not that love is wrong, but when your feelings are gone, what's left makes you fester inside. And I know I've been seen painting my blues and green, and my eyes camouflage what I've cried. Yeah, my eyes camouflage what I've cried. It's not the sound of the rains that makes me feel lonely, nor the gray skies that give me the blues. It's just the weight of some miles and all the useless disguises I've had to sit here and watch people use. It's not the sound of the rains that makes me feel lonely, nor the gray skies that give me the blues. It's just the sound of some drunk green spit up on the sidewalk and the distance that I feel from you. Yeah, it's the distance I feel from you. Burn, baby, burn. Storm Clouds, Willie P. Bennett. Yeah. Willie, I think, again, as Tony mentioned before, Willie was he's one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever known. And he just had this generosity about him that, and he would always make things work. It was always, if there was a glitch or something, he would just lift it up. He always raised the bar, and he always took the high road, and he was just, and as you mentioned, he remembered people's names, and that's a sign that somebody's paying attention when you meet them, and they're interested in you, and he had that quality. So I'm gonna do this is instant replay. I think I'm gonna do a song that Tony did earlier, but it's one of my favorite Willie P. Bennett songs, and it's such a sweet song. It's good. You got lace and pretty flowers, get your baby, get her under your pile. You got satin, sweet perfume, you know she might come up to your room. But if she got soul, you know she's gonna bow you over. And when my woman rolls me over, I feel like I wanna fly. Yes, I feel like I wanna fly. You got silk, lots of money, diamond rings and such things to trap your honey. Might be the richest man in the world, but there's nothing I know that will buy you the heart of a girl. But she's got love and a deep devotion that gets just as deep as the ocean, with just you two inside. It's just you two inside. got a house, a mansion in the country. Give it all to her, she might still be empty. You got big black cars, you want to let her ride. Give it all to her, I come over to your side. And if you got soul, you know she gonna bow you over. When my woman rolls me over, I feel like I wanna fly. Yes, I feel like I wanna fly. Like I wanna fly. Like I wanna fly. Thank you. Yeah, this Willie P. Bennett challenge that Jackson Haldane put up on the internet has been amazing, absolutely amazing. So many people have contributed to it, made their little video or whatever. Some are flashier than others, but it all gets down to the same thing. The songs are just unbelievably great songs, and the thing that I'm really happy to see about that whole thing is the younger musicians who have had to learn a Willie song, but may not have had a lot of exposure to Willie when he was around, but they're doing interesting versions of his songs, and it's really great to see his music being carried on. And so, yeah, thanks for doing this, John, because it's just 10 years since Willie passed. I remember when we did a few shows with Fred Eaglesmith and the Flying Squirrels, and we were going to I think it was Wakefield to play the Black Sheep, and we were I had a new CD out, and there was Steve McKinnon, who should be here tonight, but I don't know where he is. But he's probably writing a new song or something. He's been pretty prolific lately. And he anyway, there was Steve and I and John Law in the bus with Willie and Skip, and Fred was driving down from Toronto with Lynn Miles, and so Willie was driving and Skip was cooking breakfast in the little stove in the back behind the driver's seat and flipping eggs, and anyway, Willie gave me, we were talking about novelists, talking about writing, and I said I've been wanting to read something by Cormac McCarthy, and Willie reached under the dash and he pulled out the copy of All the Pretty Horses, and he said, yeah, you will find this one interesting. He said, go ahead and read it, and I said, great, that's great, thanks, Willie. He said, yeah, no, but that's actually Fred's book. You're going to have to give it back to him. He'll want it back. And Willie was really generous that way. So, anyway, I had the great pleasure of playing at Pat Temple's new performance venue in Rayboro, where he lives, and I call it Pat's Temple, yeah, and it is because it's I think a United Church, or it's an old church. Which church was built in the 1800s, 1883, I think, something like that. But Pat has converted the main part of the church into a performance space, and I was the first person to play at this, and then Russell DeCarl was on the show as well. So I got to play a Willie P. Bennett song, and that's Willie's home ground. There were so many people there that were friends of his, and it was great. Anyway, this song I'm going to do next is a song of Willie's that was never recorded. Well, officially. And can I talk about this? Anyway, some friends of Willie's put together a posthumous recording of stuff that he had never recorded before, and Pat Temple led the charge on that, and Russell DeCarl's involved, and Washboard Hank, and a bunch of folks from down that way. And this is one of my favorite songs on this this particular recording. So I'm going to finish off with this previously unrecorded Willie P. Bennett tune called Hearts in Decatur. And thanks, John, for asking me along for the ride to do this. Well, there's lots of hearts in Decatur, beaten and breaking and broke. Lots of roads that lead there come by air, train, or coach. If it was safe when you're in town, I wouldn't be looking for higher ground. I'd start with the transit, lost and found. There's lots of hearts in Decatur. There's lots of hearts in Decatur that are beating just like mine. Some are crying for your love, and some are just plain crying. Every time they speak your name, a wheel comes off the track. There's lots of hearts in Decatur, but I ain't going back. Finally, when your anchor's thin and all that's left is giving in, you'll hang your head and drive away. Find another heart to play. Don't call me up, don't call me down. Don't waste a nickel's worth of time, 'cause I know what's been on your mind. There's lots of hearts in Decatur. Well, there's lots of hearts in beaten and breaking and broke. At least that's what you told me the last time that we spoke. Every time I think of you, a wheel comes off my track. There's lots of hearts in Decatur, but I ain't going back. Oh no. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Really happy to be part of this.
Is that a fictional place, you mean, Joe?
Pardon?
Decatur, is that a fictional place?
A what?
A fictional place, is it a real place?
What was he asking?
Indicator.
Hearts in Decatur.
Hearts in Decatur.
Decatur, Illinois.
So it's a place.
It's a place in Illinois. Well, there's one in Georgia as well, but this Decatur, Illinois, and Hearts in Decatur. And Pat Temple said to me, yeah, when I first heard him sing that song, I thought he was saying there's lots of heart indicators.
Hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat's got a sense of humor. That's good.
Well, so did I. But not with a sense of humor. It's just mistaken identity. Don't forget to unplug, sir. Hey, this has been so much fun. One of the things I want to bring up is John and Michelle Law. I remember running into them into a laundromat here one day, this young couple going, "Who are you guys?" Well, it turned out they were from back east. We knew some same people. I was leaving to go do one of my drive-aways, so I didn't get a chance to actually sit down and talk to them until about 3 weeks after as it turned out, they wanted to know, when they found out that I knew Willie P. Bennett, if I could give them the Willie P. Bennett catalog, and I did. And at one time when Willie came out, I said, "Oh, by the way, I got a little treat for you. Some people want to meet you." A couple named John and Michelle Law. So they walked in with their guitars and sat down in the hotel room. So, okay, let's jam. And every song that Willie sang, they knew the harmonies for.
Yeah, that's true.
And Willie just said it was the most, he said he almost lost it because he just, there was getting to a point where he couldn't play another song because they knew them.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little story about John Law, since you're talking about him. And that is, I was recording my second CD here in the Valley, and I was looking for a mandolin player. And one day the phone rang, and Long John was on the phone, and in typical sort of conversation just starts like, "He's here." And I said, "What? Who? What are you talking about?" He said, he's here. He's sitting in my kitchen." I said, "Who's sitting in your kitchen?" He said, "Your mandolin player. Get your damn guitar and get up here." And it was John Law, and we sat down. I know this is about Willie, but anyway.
That's okay.
John Law had never heard me play before, never heard any of my stuff. And we sat down, and it was like he knew the whole album. He's just that good. So I'll bet Willie was impressed.
Those two put on a festival now down in Kingsville that I went to last year, and an amazingly good. I think it's going on its 4th or 5th year this year. It turns out that I didn't realize how close to Windsor it was, and I got down there and realized I was only 20 minutes away from my parents' grave, so I had to go down and say hi to them. But I didn't realize it was that close. This is pretty good to be putting on a folk festival, a Canadian singer-songwriter folk festival that close to the United States, because I don't think anyone down in that area has ever listened to it. Didn't even know what Canada is.
No.
You know, they're south of
pretty
Windsor.
Yeah.
You know, it's Point Pelee. It's right there. It's on its. You don't get any further down. But anyway, yeah, one of the things over the years that I noticed about Willie's song, and that's why this is gonna be a segue into Bill Levity. You're up next, sir. Yeah. That's before Rolly and Carla, who are going to end off the night. They got a 40-minute set of Willie P. Bennett songs, which are just going to be. This is going to be a wonderful way to go. So far, hearing all of this Willie stuff has been really good. Oh, another little aside. Willie had his first heart attack, and then took a break, and then he had enough stamina that he thought he was going to drive across the country and see how he felt. And he stopped off in Winnipeg and recorded all the music that's on that Sharpening the Plow CD that's soon to be released, we hope, if Esther gets on it. Anyway, when he got to Duncan, he got on stage, and as Willie would have it, I was supposed to be the MC, and I was supposed to introduce him, and Willie walks on stage to do something, right? And before you know it, everyone's applauding, and that little sheepish look. He look, "Oh well, now I'm here," so he's going to start the show. And I don't get, and I'm at the back of him going, "No, Willie, just a minute." And I ran up because I had a set of jumper cables. See? I just wanted to let him know that not to worry. We were behind him. Just give it all he could, and that we had jumper cables in case he didn't make it. And that was the only time he ever acknowledged that I got him. He didn't know what to say about it. Okay, and again, he put on a show. It could have been a minute and a half shorter. Because you could just see him getting out of breath, right? But he started off the night with Red Dress. Like how can you start off a show? No, it's like all that energy, and we're just going, no, this is going to be terrible. But he pulled it off, and it was one of the last. Well, it was the last show he did out here on the West Coast. I remember the first show that he did on the West Coast with here. When I came here, I sort of felt like the guy out here, out in the boonies, trying to figure out, how do we introduce Cowichan Valley to Willie P. Bennett? How do I introduce the island to Willie P. Bennett? So that was kind of my job for a while. Trying to make it work, and the first place I think we played was Ronaldo's. Yes, that's just where Excellent Frameworks are right now. They just moved into that space, and I was in there yesterday going, wow, this is so cool. And yeah, we played there, and I know one couple that got together. They came to see the Willie P. Bennett show and walked out. Now they've been happily married ever since.
Who's that?
That little French girl and the guy who sunk the plane off Thetis Island.
Weird.
The big
Whoa.
airplane, like
The
he
big
actually
guy,
went out
not
and got
just a little-
a full-on jet, and dropped the jet down in so people could swim underneath it and all that stuff, whatever they call it. It's a new kind of tourism.
Submarine tourism.
Yeah, whatever it is. People go out
Yeah.
and do that stuff, and and go underwater, and anyway, yeah. So Willie was one of the things I noticed about Willie over the years too was the thing that brought me to him was I used to say I had attention deficit disorder, and that I like short stories. Like when I read the newspaper, I don't read the long ones. I read the short. Anything like Reader's Digest and I get along great. Get to the point. Let's get out, right? Short jokes and all that stuff. Willie impressed me so much that you could start a story. He could tell me a story in a song. Start it, walk you through it, find resolve, and then leave you there, having been entertained in such a short period of time. And I realized that's a good writer. Someone who can do that. Someone whose songwriting can also stand as prose. And you know about that, don't you, Bill Levity?
He's stealing all my stuff.
No, I'm telling you.
I should never have leaked this to him. No, that's right. That's right, John. Thanks.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because Bill Levity
What's
is,
him?
in fact, not only is he a singer-songwriter from just outside that Fred area. Was it Brantford?
Brantford?
Brant-
Brantford?
Ford?
I don't have a plug-in for my whodunit. Brantford, Ontario.
Yep. But that whole, again, that Eastern connection came out here years ago. Got to spend some matter of fact, he got to be an MC for Willie a few times. I think you opened up for him once too, did you?
We'll just go ahead and tell that story as well then. Sure.
Oh, geez.
My whole set's gone now. Yes, that's right. I got to open for him in Tofino. I wasn't going to tell that story right away because that comes in the middle.
Okay, well,
but that's
you
okay.
can do it later. No, but the whole thing I was getting at is that Bill Levy, as a singer-songwriter himself, was greatly influenced by Willie P.
I
Bennett.
surely
We would
was.
talk about it many
I
times.
am.
And he always gives me, at the weirdest times, he gives me credit for saying, "Hey, thank you for having done that." And I understand what he was saying, and wasn't even me. That's that catalytic converter thing that I do. But the thing is that on the last Tuesday of the month of our open mics, what we have is For the Love of Words, and that's where we people who enjoy wordsmithing and things that go with it. And this gentleman here is the one who's been doing it for us for 10 years. So tonight when I asked him to be a part of this, and he said, "Yeah, I'm going to read." That's how we got started. So I'll let him take it away. Bill Levity.
Well, that was my set. Thanks for standing in, John. It's good. Yeah, that's right. No, I have been doing that for 10 years. Amazing. And it was actually John's idea in the House of Willie over there at the original garage. And he noticed in some of the cabarets I think that we were doing that I was doing some performance poetry and said, "Well, why don't you do a thing?" So we started a thing, and we've been doing it for 10 years. And it's very interesting. People bring original works, either prose or poetry or limericks or journal entries, and a lot of people bring their favorite works by other authors. And so it's a very kind of intimate, sometimes intensely intimate sharings, sex and death and rock and roll kind of sharings. And so that's been a great thing. Segueing to the first part of the story, which John mentioned, I was at that show in. Did you remember what year it was, John? 1985, maybe? No, that seems too long into my. Was it? Well, that would be 89 then. So in 1989, I met. I had seen John around town. I'd been here since '84, and so I'd become involved with the folk festival. I'd met Lorna and Paul and several people, songwriters like Joe. So I was becoming interested in folk music and starting to play guitar. And so when I saw this tall fellow wandering around town and heard there was going to be a show, I went to check it out. And that turned out to be John's first show putting on Willie P. Bennett. And it surely had a great effect on me, and I got to know Willie a little bit over the years, emceeing for John and schlepping gear. This is always fun when you get to schlep gear on a musical treats road show. Lots of amazing shows in Nanaimo and Tofino and Victoria. So we'll do this this first one. This would be could be like advice from a father to a son or a mother to a daughter, perhaps. Have some water first. Well, if you have to choose the one you love the best. Not the one who wants you just to hold you to her breast. Well, she'll treat you fine. Oh, yeah. She'll be great in bed. She only wants to get into your head. You know that, don't you? She'll always ask, "What was that you said to me in the other room?" But if you have to choose, take the one you love. Not the one who wants you because she thinks you are above her. You can lie to her. Won't mean nothing to you. She'll show pain, but you'll only see through it. She only wants to hear those words, "I love you," more than anything. Well, son, if you have to choose, take the one you love. One who could leave you when you both had enough. She don't want very much, just the love that you bring her. The feel of your touch. But every day is not necessary. You can go away. That's called If You Had to Choose. Which Joe, maybe both of you sung it. Joe sang it. Yeah. So I did go on a famous road trip to Tofino and got to open for Willie. And it was an eye-opening experience because, of course, they weren't Longevity John trained up there, and we were in a Legion, so of course opening act. Who the hell is that? They're sitting there, they're drinking beer, they're talking to each other, and it was hellish, of course, and but it's a good experience for anyone who wants to play in front of people to be completely ignored on occasion. Makes you tougher, doesn't it, Joe? What? Anyway, there's a meat draw going on. There was something going on, my lord. And Willie put on a great show and was being interviewed by a lovely young lady afterwards. And after all was done and all the gears in the truck, and we're about to go back to Dr. John's, and being the gracious man that he is, he thinks enough to say, well, Bill, how was your set? And I said, well, I didn't feel that good about it. You know, people weren't listening, and I kind of struggled. And he kind of goes, assholes. That was Willie. Graciousness. And we had an amazing evening. Dr. John, beautiful guy, lives in Tofino, and they had a band that came down to Longevity's first annual 51st birthday party, maybe, or the second annual 50th first birthday party, with at Jeff and Heather's party or property there, and the Mud. What were they called, John? The Bottom Feeders, lovely band. Anyway, Dr. John, nicest guy in the world, and he flies out to many remote places to take care of his patients. And he sure admired Willie, and he put the three of us up. Four of us. Was there 3 or 4 of us? Maybe Gleno and Willie and John and I. And this amazing house overlooking the ocean. And they were just grilling Willie all night, you know, about things musical. What do you think of Dylan? I don't know. As if he wanted to talk about Bob Dylan. But he had some good opinions. And played a couple, I think he played a little bit even, late at night. And, oh, geez, the scotch came out. That was a good moment, eh, John? Oh, yeah. I'm sure John, as soon as he sees that, he goes to himself, oh, no. He knows they've got a show the next day in Nanaimo. Oh, no. So we had a raucous old time talking away, and Willie was pretty much the last one up in the wee hours in the morning, and I fell asleep on the couch in the living room there with the big windows and the ocean. And in the middle of the night, I hear this angel calling to me, Bill! 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 What do you want, Bill? I open my eyes and I look up, and there's the angel up on the next floor, the kitchen, the bar, looking over the living room, sunken living room, and he's holding the bottle of scotch way above my head. What do you want, Bill? So it's either an existential question, depending on how you look at it, or purely a practical one. And as it turns out, it was both, because I did get a drink of scotch, and he poured from way up high, and we didn't spill a drop, which was great. And then we proceeded on to the existential part of the question and stayed up all night standing on the deck overlooking the ocean and talking about life. And so for those of you who know and love Willie and had a chance to meet him, that was a pretty amazing moment in my life. A man who truly great in his art and such a gracious person, but also really fallible and human. And just to share something that close with him was very special to me. So this is not a Willie P song. This is the only song I'm going to sing, though, because sort of like that night, he did have a wild side, That next day was rough, wasn't it, John? I'm running wild, I've lost control. I'm running wild, I'm mighty bold, feeling gay, reckless too, carefree mind all of the time, never blue, always go. I don't know where, always showing. I don't care, don't love nobody. It's not worth a while. All alone and running wild. I'm all alone and running wild. I'm all alone. We love you, Willie. I thought that was a very Willie song, his dark and wild side. He certainly had that. And then, of course, just the gentlest of humans as well. He's very Zen-like in a lot of ways, too, I thought. Or maybe it's just that he learned to cover up the dark side better. Apparently he's quite the wild man in those early days. Joe, did you see some of those festivals where he was crawling up and down the walls? Joe's not commenting. Very gracious of you, Joe. Now this one, what's that word when the song is the name of the song is also the name of the album? The eponymous. I learned these things from YouTube. The eponymous song I play for so much money. I've paid to those with their funny smiles. I've been told that when it's sunny, it's the best time for making miles. But Lord, I'm tired of traveling on this same old train of thought. And my mind just ain't unraveling. And this time I know that I'm caught again. I watched the midnight rain last night, and it only made me smile. And sometimes when I'm so afraid, it's ironic, but it's part of the trade you make. And Lord, I'm tired of traveling on the same old train of thought. And my mind is just unraveling. And this time I know that I'm caught again. Hobo's Taunt. This one's been done twice, but it hasn't been read, so I will read it because it is probably one of his most popular songs. Makes the ladies weak in the knees, eh, Lorna? I heard Lorna sing along, and we will hi-ho to her hubby, Mr. Rizal, who's tired, but who used to play some Willie songs. And so if you're watching at home, hi, Paul. What's that? Oh, you're saying hi to Paul, too. Yes, hi, Paul. Hi, Paul. Hey, Paul. Let's see if I can, well, all right. You know, you got your lace and your pretty flowers to give to your baby, huh? To get her under your powers, huh? You got silk and sweet perfumes. You know, she might come. She might come up to your room. But if you got soul, you know she's gonna bowl you over. And when my baby rolls me over, oh, you know, I feel like I wanna fly. I feel like I wanna fly. You got satin, lots of money, huh? Diamond rings and such things to trap your honey. You got big black cars. You want to let her ride. Give it all to her. She might come over to your side. But if you got love and a deep devotion, it gets just as deep as the ocean. With just you two inside. Just you two inside. You got a house. You got a mansion in the country. Give it all to her. She could still be empty. You could be the richest man in the world. But there's nothing I know of that will buy you the heart of a girl. Thank you, Willie. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes, a sign of very good writing. How many songs could hold together under such scrutiny? Yes. Thank you, sir, for everything and always. And thank you, Willie, and the rest of you.
Mr. Bill Levity. Now I'm thinking here we got to get Rolly and Carla up, and that might take maybe 5 minutes. Why don't we just take a quick break here so everyone can use the facilities. Possibly get some more popcorn and do what you got to do. This is such a treat when you put all this Willie P in one night, you know. And I really feel like I've been out here in the boonies being the guy out in the far west coast, you know. You take care of it, you make sure we get it, you know. Make sure we got places to play. But, you know, it's not a night doesn't go by that I'm not aware of the fact that this room is designed after the great Willie P. Bennett. It is about listening audiences. It is about listening and letting the performer on stage take you. What a nice rendition of Lace and Pretty Flowers, sir.
Would you like to read it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, that, I mean, and all of the reading. I mean, it's just, this is a treat. I'm glad that the same songs are being done a couple times, because then you get to see the power that the song has, how it can be brought in from different angles. Just everything about it is just very cool. Are we going to play the, while we take a short break?
old trainer coach.
Yeah, I'll say no more.
If it was
Sit up and
safe
listen if you
when
don't
you're
mind.
in town, I wouldn't be looking for higher ground. I'd start with the trans.
The great Willie P. Bennett. That's who we're here tonight to talk about, and kind of give all the accolades that could probably go to him. Now, one of the things I got to make comment to is that there's a bunch of people right now that for the last 10 days or so, I think it was February 3rd was the first show, back in Ontario with Rick Taylor, and David Essick was on that. Linda McCrae got kidnapped. She ended up on that one as well. A whole bunch of issues. Payne, Bruce Payne, no, Brian, is it Bruce? Or Brian Payne from Stratford? He got involved with it, and it was a very wonderful thing, and I can only imagine how they felt at the very end, because they had the opportunity to do like 4 or 5 shows, and I know these have been going on. There was one in Peterborough as well. There's something, I mean, I can sit down and listen to a CD and say, well, that's really cool. But to sit down and listen to a group of people, and like, you might find a musician, a singer-songwriter in Canada who's out there in the folk circuit who might say, hey, I want to do a Willie P. Bennett song, so they'll play one. But tonight we've had the opportunity to, 10, 15, 10, 12, right now 13. We got a bunch more coming up. To hear it en masse and not be, I mean, it's not Willie's show. He's not here. It's not him. But to hear it, it brings it all back again. To have such an evening of just Willie P. tunes. All those people in Ontario who put all that together, you must have had the time of your lives each night, just sitting around. And then I know afterwards, the jams that went on forever afterwards. A wonderful experience, and it is truly a Blue Valentine. I know that on February 15th, I was at the Duncan Showroom 10 years ago. It was a Friday afternoon, I believe, and it was around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and I had the album on, Heartstrings, and Blue Valentine came on, and I know exactly where I was on the stage, at the back corner, right near where the curtain was to go off, and I remember hearing it. Something just hit me. It just said, it was really a poignant moment, something that just stuck with me about Blue Valentine. And I became somewhat overwhelmed and didn't know until later that day when Pat Temple got a hold of me and let me know that Willie had passed away. So I knew that there was still a connection, you know, and if I ever had to believe in a life hereafter, it's only so that I can sit down and do some more talking with Willie P. Bennett and just chat up some of the things that he didn't get a chance to see when he was around. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, I don't know that, but wherever he is, I look forward to someday hoping that it's not all over yet, that we can all get together in that happy other place and chat up the storm. Because I know there's a bunch of songwriters up there already, and when they got this new one, they were in for a treat. People like Colleen Peterson, sitting in Nashville many, many years ago, you know, hey, you know, she's in between takes, so she starts playing a song. Leon Russell walks in and goes, who wrote that song? She says, Willie P. Bennett. Get him down here. Except that they didn't cook the steaks the way Willie liked it, and I guess he put up a bit of a fuss. And Willie being Willie, never went much further than that, but he wasn't about to be bought. He was about to play his music, and that's always what he stood what he stood for. And he didn't, you know, some say that he didn't, he shot himself in the foot a lot. I don't think he did. I think he just stood up to the things that he believed in. And there is a piece of work out there right now that we've all been listening to, which is it'll attest to where the progress was going. And there's still some material out there that I know that hasn't been released yet, that I know that was written, and tapes have been found and things have been done. And people like, by the way, people like Colin Lynn, I remember sitting on the Blackie and the Rodeo Kings bus as they were coming across. Now, I had the audacity, this is a great story. I was driving my one-ton cube van across the country, and it happened to be, I got into Kenora, and it just so happened that they were going to be in the next day, and I was staying at Mort Goss, and I said, well, I'm going to stay another day, right? Might as well this close. And I wanted to check them out because I kind of felt like I was on Willie's side, and I wanted to make sure these guys were doing an honest thing. You know, like, are you guys just living off Willie, or are you actually doing it? You know, is it real? How I thought I would know, right? And first time I heard them, I said, yeah, you guys have got it. And as it turned out, my trip across ended up that we spent a lot of time. I got to do a lot of shows, and I got to sell a lot of product. And when I got finished that, I was able to tell Willie, hey, Willie, they're on your side. It's all about you, don't worry, Willie. But one of the things I remember talking with people that called in and said, yeah, I really know Willie P. And she said, well, have you heard this song? Have you heard this song? Have you heard that one? He went through and he went, all right. There's that point again. Willie made contact with a whole bunch of people on their level individually, and everyone felt like they were special, that it was a special moment that you had a friend in Willie P. Bennett. That's what we're honoring tonight, is the graciousness of the man, not only his songwriting. And right now, Rolly Thompson, this is one of the funny things, is we're all Easterners that got caught onto Willie P. Bennett, right? But there were some people out west that got a chance to find out, because he would do his tours. He would leave our Ontario little threshold there and head off out to the west coast or down to LA and stuff like that. And it's then when I found out, when we came out west on one of the tours, that he did have a fan base out here, because he had worked it out. One night, I had booked a tour where we couldn't get Rolly will test this. We played in the back of a flower shop in Fort McLeod. 16 people or so like that. But it was there, and Willie, I mean, you were close, right? But he put on a show. And I remember one night we had him going through there, and there was no opportunity to put a show on. Maureen and Trent couldn't put a show together. And I told him, it's just, sad. And so he takes the bus down, and then it stops off in Fort McLeod at just around midnight for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and then heads out west. So that's the one he was going to be on. And so the bus pulls in. Okay, I'm in Fort McLeod, didn't get a gig. He looks out the window, and there's all these 12, 15 people sitting out there with placards going, hey, Willie P. So they got off the bus, had a big party, took him off to the side, gave him a nip or two, put him back on the bus. And he was so overwhelmed by that to realize that, yes, he did have a fan base across the country. And we're here to make sure that more and more people get to know who he is. And this Rolly Thompson guy, well, he was an Alberta boy, ended up in Haida Gwaii, spent some time down in Mexico every winter. He plays a lot of Willie P. songs, because he too believes in what Willie P. was about. And tonight he's going to give us some songs and invite a guest up partway through it. So please give a warm welcome to Rolly Thompson.
I don't really know where to start with my relationship with Willie P. I met him in 1978 when he was doing a tour of the Northern Coffee House route up on Highway 16. And he came through and did the Smithers Coffee House there. And I opened for him. But we didn't connect much. I had listened to his music, of course. I started listening to his music, gosh, when Trying to Start Out Clean came out, and Hobo's Taunt. And I fell in love with those records, because I was living alone in this little shack in Telkwa. And I spent a winter wearing those records out. And yeah, I realized the depth of his music. It overwhelmed me. So I'll play some Willie P. songs. They've all been played before, probably, because they're fabulous songs, these songs. Soul, she knows she's gonna boil you over. When the lady and satin, lots of money, diamond rings, such things to trap your honey. You're driving big black cars. Would you like a ride? You give it all to her. You hope she might come over to your side. But if she's got love and a deep devotion, it gets just as deep as the ocean, with just you two inside. Just you two inside. If you've got a house, it's a mansion in the country. You give it all to her, she could still be empty. You could be the richest man in the world, but there ain't nothing I know of that'll buy you the heart of a girl. If she's got soul, she knows she's gonna roll you over. And when my lady rolls me over, I feel like I wanna fly. Yes, I feel like I wanna fly high. Thank you. It's kind of emotional for me. Willie P. was one of my closest friends, actually. When he toured out west, he would stay at our place. And he would come in, and sometimes I had to literally drag him off the bus. He would come in terrible shape. And he'd spend a week or so drying up, and we'd feed him good food, and he'd do his exercises, and we loved him a lot, and we supported him, and we were glad every time he dropped in. He was a poet. He should have been the Poet Laureate of Canada, as far as I'm concerned. You know? Guess we better get it in the right side up. Blackie and the rodeo king, they were just good friends. They've been on every old rodeo and they rode on every old train. Blackie lived out her life every night trying to sort out the lies that people would tell her. And the rodeo king was an Indian who found a bottle, better friend than any old white man. You wanna come up here? We're gonna get Carla up here because she sings a great harmony to the song. Through 20-odd years of fighting with the Brahmas and the horses and the women, Blackie picked him up one night. He was laying face down in the gutter, with her heart on her sleeve, but life tailored through the street. She knew that she must talk to him, and the stories he told her were enough for him to hold her, and her to hold on to him. Counting the stars on one another as we watched the level and the bottle go around. Blackie was a beauty, though why she was very hard to tell. But the faces the Lord put on us are the actions of a heart that love can fill. Heart to heart they're living now, Blackie and the rodeo king. Heart to heart they're living now, Blackie and the rodeo king. Why don't you pick me one now? Counting stars on one another as we watch the level of the bottle go around. Blackie was a beauty, though why she was very hard to tell. But the faces the Lord put on us are the actions of a heart that love can fill. Heart to heart they're living now, Blackie and the rodeo king. Blackie and the rodeo king. Blackie and the rodeo king. Yeah, Blackie and the rodeo king. Blackie and the rodeo up here. I'm gonna have to chase Carla off for a few songs because we haven't rehearsed these together. So, drat. But we'll have her back. Yes. Let me see, where was I? I remember hearing the news. I was working in my shop. I have a cabinet shop up in Queen Charlotte. And I was listening to CBC News, and I heard it on CBC Radio. And it was a shocker, I'll tell you. Wonder where that bit went. Once there was a miner who held down his job. One day he died from the fate of his God. Now his wife, she did mourn him till the collectors came around, stole all his possessions before they buried him down. Now his wife and his children pay the rent with their tears. They live alone with one another, wake late at night with their tears. 'Cause the money ain't nothing to the rich man in town. But for the sake of a dollar, they let the whole family drown. Now the old man had wrote out all the things he had saved. He said he'd save them a gold mine, but it was all in his head. And one solemn child who had been born that year was brought up with the memories of the feelings and the fears. And his wife and his children, pay the rent with their tears. They live alone with one another. They wake late at night with their fears. But the money ain't nothing to the rich man in town. But for the sake of a dollar, they let the whole family drown. Now the bartender's arm shook as he poured one more round. He says, I heard many stories was along in the town. When I paid up my dollar and I laughed as I did. I said, I'm one of the family, I've long kept it hid. I'm older and wiser now, and I've traveled around. I've slept in many dark cities, I've been jailed in small towns. But my father would tell you, if he'd have lived to this day, life be a gamble, let blood be the stake. called For the Sake of a Dollar. I used to, Will used to arrive and I used to drive him to his gigs in Western Canada. And I spent a lot of time just driving down the road with Will. And we talked a lot about, poetry, writing, meanings of words, meanings of lyrics, layered lyrics, all kinds of stuff. And he may have dropped out of school when he was in grade 10, but he had a fabulous education. There was trouble on my mind one night. I rolled over and I turned on the light. And I got up and I walked on the floor, wondering why we don't talk anymore. It seems I just can't shake these lonesome, lonely streets. All the blue stares from the people that I meet, telling me there's just one way to go. Little darling, you have to tell me either yes or no. Have you been reckless, baby, and careless with our love, disregarding emotions, 'cause you can't get enough of running with your eyes closed? You never took a second look, reckless baby, oh careless love. Have you been reckless, baby, and careless with our love, disregarding emotions, 'cause you can't get enough of running with your eyes closed? You never took a second look, reckless baby, oh careless love. Reckless baby, oh careless love. Reckless baby, oh careless love. Ooh. Thank you. I don't know whether I should do this one. It's been done before this evening. Decatur. Anybody want to hear Decatur this rendition, or should I? It is about Willie P. songs, right? Thought I would lube up my harmonica here, but did you carry the water off or something? There's lots of hearts in Decatur, beaten, bragging, and broke. Lots of roads that lead there come by air or train or coach. If it was safe when you're in town, I wouldn't be looking for higher ground. I'd start with the transit lost and found. There's lots of hearts in Decatur. There's lots of hearts in Decatur, beaten and bragging and broke. Some are crying for your love, some are just plain crying. But every time I speak your name, a wheel comes off the track. There's lots of hearts in Decatur, but I ain't going back. Finally, when you're giving in, and all that's left's giving in, you hang your head and drive away. Or find another heart to play. Don't call me up, don't call me down, don't waste a nickel's worth of time. 'Cause I know what's been on your mind. There's lots of hearts in Decatur. Well, there's lots of hearts in Decatur, beaten and bragging and broke. At least that's what you told me the last time that we spoke. And every time I think of you, a wheel comes off my track. There's lots of hearts in Decatur, but I ain't going back. Thank you. I think we're going to bring Carla up here again. Yay, I agree. Carla and I met in Calgary about 8 or 9 years ago. She was hosting a open mic there at the time, and we sort of enjoyed each other's musical company. And now she lives out here, and we still enjoy each other's musical company. This is one of the first Willie P songs that I learned way back when. wish I had a hole to climb in. Summer's warm rain sure ain't come, so it seems to me that I'm a thrown again. Standing by a midnight highway, excuse me sir, are you going my way? On and on, the endless white line goes. Tired and hungry once again, and the sleet keeps coming down on top of me. And all the time I keep wishing I had me a warm coat and hat so that I could sleep. Standing by a midnight highway, excuse me sir, are you going my way? On and on, the endless white line goes. Sunny days are what I pray for, that golden sunshine on my skin. Heading south through the Teton Mountains, Lord, it seems to me that I'm thumbing again. Standing by a midnight highway, excuse me sir, are you going my way? On and on, the endless white line white line goes. You know it could have been me you're listening to on your radio, and I could be warm inside of someplace instead of standing here outside in the snow. On and on the endless white line goes. On and on the endless white line goes. On and on the endless white line goes. Thank Carla for being so good at improvising at the last second.
Bit interesting.
Are you ready? You know that last song, concerning the last song, Willie and I were driving down the road one day and he was writing in his notebook song lines, and he finally closes the book in disgust and he puts it on the dash. And I said, "What's that about?" And he says, "I already wrote that song." And he didn't explain. I asked him which song was that, and he didn't say. He just said, you know, when White Lines came out, the critics panned it because it was a drug song. And I said, a drug song? They obviously didn't listen to the song, you know? The song's about desperation and being isolated, and it says to me, it's the state of being of the Canadian artist. You know, you're kind of isolated in your own country, and you're a lost foreigner in another country, and it's a desperate situation, you know? And the last plea, the last verse, you know, it could have been me you're listening to on your radio. You know, and that's the state of the Canadian music industry.
You wrote that when you were 7.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. When he was sleeping on the floor of the bars in downtown Toronto. Yeah, when he first started showing up at my door, he would look like a hobo. He was dressed in rags, and he carried his gear in duct taped up suitcases and duffel bags and stuff. And I thought, wow, is this this is the fate of the guy who should be the poet laureate of Canada. And I thought, well, you know, I think I'll do something else for a living, you know? When I first saw her on the Kini Fork River, knew her daddy'd rather shoot her than ever forgive her for falling for one of the McCallum clan. What do you expect? He's a feuding man. Every day before breakfast, her mom would say, "Daughter, time to get a bucket and go fetch water." She'd skip down the path through the cool, dark eddy that fed into the Kini Fork River. The Kini Fork River, the Kini Fork River, like water everywhere, it's a taker and a giver. She'd touch it to her body, she'd touch it to her lips. I wish I was a Kini Fork River. Now there's no use thinking that you might get caught, because your lucky streak's been running hot. I couldn't swim, so I started across, hanging on to the branches of a hollow log. Well, the log hit a rock and I sank to the bottom. My body washed away late last autumn. My spirit still lingers in the cool, dark water that washes the skin of Ferguson's daughter. The Kini Fork River, the Kini Fork River, like water everywhere, it's a taker and a giver. She touch it to her body, she touch it to her lips. I wish I was a Kini Fork River. The Kini Fork River, the Kini Fork River, like water everywhere, it's a taker and a giver. She touch it to her body, she touch it to her lips. I wish I was a Kini Fork River. I wish I was a Kini Fork River. We'll end with this one. It's just sort of hit a nerve when you lived in Alberta. Yeah. What can you say? What else have I got to say about Willie P. before we depart? I keep them in my guitar case. I was, Will used to give people, have you ever received one of these? Yeah, Kinder Egg. Will used to eat the Kinder Egg and then he would stuff a little trinket in there and give it to you. Anybody have one of these? Well, Esther gave me this one, and it's got a little baggie of Will's ashes in it. And I carry it with me. It's in my guitar case, and it helps me along, you know. I like to. I didn't, you know, when Will died, I lived on was on Haida Gwaii, and I had no way of getting off the island soon enough to go to the funeral or any of that stuff. I did manage to make it to the ceremony when he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. And that's when Esther gave me this, as a matter of fact. But no, I haven't seen Esther for a long time. I did the artwork and stuff for a new CD cover for the latest recording that never got released. But I haven't heard a thing about whether it'll ever be released. I hope it does someday. But yeah. And thank John so much for putting this together. It means so much to me. Yeah. I come down to Thessalon. Toronto's not my home. I miss the North Country so well, no longer will I roam. Drifting snow round my window, drifting snow round my door, drifting snow round my brains, Lord. Won't be no drifting anymore. Sometimes I hope I never make it through. All the things that I believe aren't about to fight for the things that I know inside are true. All the friends that I have had or misplaced along the way, no amount of energy could ever bring it back. Weighs down on me like a ton, and it never was no fun, and I never meant to do no harm. Drifting snow round my window, drifting snow round my door, drifting snow round my brains, Lord. Won't be no drifting anymore. Silent as a sleeping train. Hey moon, won't shine down on me. I need your light to give me direction. Further off I get, the better off I'll be. All the times that I have had or misplaced along the way, no amount of energy could ever bring it back. Weighs down on me like a ton, and I never was no fun, and I never meant to do no harm. Drifting snow round my window, drifting snow round my door, drifting snow round my brains, Lord. Won't be Thank you all for showing up, and geez, it's been an honor to be here and finally celebrate Will's life and all of the stuff that I've missed in the last 10 years. Thanks, John.
Well, it was. No, I was just thinking, Chris Whiteley's coming here next week. Oh, yeah. Or on March 9th, right? He was played harmonica on those first two albums. And every time, and then I heard it the other day. I said, "Oh, that sounds another album somewhere." I said, "That sounds like Willie." No, it wasn't Willie. It was Chris. And I think Willie started finding out what Chris had done and sort of took that and then went a little bit further. But it's so many neat people that have been a part of Willie's life that you get to meet, and who all speak so highly of him. And a little aside, by the way, I just remembered a while back that for all the people in Black and the Rodeo Kings, what they did by trying to make sure that Willie P. Bennett's music would be acknowledged while he was alive, right? Their career's gone off onto all sorts of new things, but still the basis of what it is Blackie and the Rodeo Kings. It's all about Willie P. Bennett. Tom Wilson just does some songs of Willie. Willie was a huge part of his life in realizing that his voice was the same as Willie's, and that there was a whole new range for him, a whole new area that he could work in and not have to worry about it. Stephen Fearing, when I first met him over here at the Cowichan Theater, and he saw that I had a Willie P. Bennett poster that I was making up. So we got to be friends, and I did some leather work for him. And one time when he was going to stay in Toronto, he says, "Any way you can hook me up on Willie P.'s couch?" And I said, "Well, I'll talk to him." Right? So sure enough, we were able to get Stephen to stay on Willie's couch. And from that point, well, you saw what happened. All three of those guys got together and made sure that Willie's career was okay. And a big person, too, who's out there watching tonight. If you're not watching, I hope you are sometime along the way. Lisa Bennett. Yes. The one who had to put up with Willie for the longest time in those times. She did really well, and not only that, she gave him a lot of love, and he lived off that love a lot while he was, and he still held her in his mind and in his heart in a strong place. So tonight, anyway, we've done a lot. We've got a chance to go through a lot of memories. For me, it's been great to find out all the little aspects. I'm really glad to see that Lace and Pretty Flowers is the song of choice. Everyone seems to like that one from all aspects. Thanks, Bill, for taking it. You know, it's funny because when you did it, Rolly, I had a hard time not hearing it in an Italian accent. You've done it. I think you're going to do this to a lot of people. You know, and thanks for doing that. It just shows the universality of everything he did. We all are, everyone in the room I know are lovers of what Willie did, and all those that are watching should be, and if you're not, take the time to go through it. You don't have to be a player, just be a listener. You will find out that his music will move you all the time. Try and listen to one song a week. Do whatever you have to do. It's not that, it's just not another person that's gone. It was Willie P. Bennett. It's 10 years, and we just have to make sure that the youth of the day get to appreciate the music and that whole folk genre. Because remember, he came out before Bim, before she was just here. Plays the piano. Connie Calder. They were the second generation. So it was the people like Willie P. Bennett that went out there and sort of pushed the limits of where folk was, to sort of set it up so that those coming along, there was a place for them to play and things to do, right? The Hovel and all those coffee houses across the country that put up with it. And the Vancouver Folk Festival that would not let Willie P. come back for years. I love that. Yeah, something about LSD. No, it was more about rooms. It was more about not being treated properly at the time, and Willie again decided that he would make his point, and he did, and so it took him a long time to get back to the Vancouver Folk Festival, and when he did, he slew them away. And another little aside: one night Willie P's playing. I think Tanis Slimman was on tour. For whatever reason, she was in the area, and she heard that Willie was going to be playing at the Garage, so she showed up. And anybody who knows that I'm kind of like the sound police, you know, like, shut up, listen to what's going on. Well, I'm standing there, and I'm right by the sound booth, and there's Tanis and this other lady, May Moore, you might know her, sitting behind me, singing along the harmonies to Willie on stage. Like, would you, don't shut up. Go on stage, do something with it. It was just a wonderful moment. They just sat in the background, and they had the hugest smiles on their faces because they were, again, lovers of what Willie wrote. And we don't know what the muse was or how it channeled through him, right? His life was his life, but his words were channeled well and put together in a wonderful thing. Thanks everyone for coming out tonight and appreciating the one and only Willie P. Bennett. And keep the faith. See you all later. Bye.
Well, there's lots of hearts in Decatur, beaten and breaking and broke. There are lots of roads that lead there, come by air or train or coach. If it was safe when you're in town, I wouldn't be looking for high ground. I'd start with the transit lost and found. There's lots of hearts in Decatur. There's lots of hearts in Decatur that are beating just like mine. Some are crying for your love, and some are just plain crying. And every time they speak your name, a wheel comes off the track. There's lots of hearts in Decatur, but I ain't going back. Finally, when your anger's thin and all that's left is giving in, you'll hang your head and drive away and find another heart to play. Well, don't call me up, don't call me down, don't waste a nickel's worth of time. And now I know what's been on your mind. There's lots of hearts in Decatur. Well, there's lots of hearts in Decatur, beaten and breaking and broke. At least that's what you told me the last time that we spoke. And every time I think of you, a wheel comes off my track. There's lots of hearts in Decatur, but I ain't going back. No.
Hurricane and twister, she don't need no man, she don't want no mister. She dance so pretty, she dance so sweet, dance every man at the dance right off his feet. Her daddy grew corn, mama grounds it up now. Sisters baking cornbread, Lord, and a cornbread. I get so tired, she worry for me, she cover for me. Cover me, I get so tired. She worry for me, she cover for me, she cover me. Her daddy grew corn, mama grounds it up now. Sister baking cornbread, Lord, and a cornbread.
Satin on satin, champagne on ice. There's no second guessing, there's no thinking twice. It's only a feeling locked up in time. If you live in the moment, you leave it behind. Ah, love. Love is such a fleeting thing, it comes and it goes. And everybody's seen it. And everybody knows. The taste and the texture of chocolate in the moment sweat becomes sweet. The pleasure in your lover's eyes before she falls asleep. Satin on satin, champagne and lace. I have my regrets, but none I'd erase. I'll try to remember, there's nothing to hide. If you live in the moment, you leave it behind. What I like is solitaire. You play your cards when no one's there. The jack on queen of everything, the queen on king in Aberdeen, and everyone knows. Well, sure it's Johnny everything that slaps the night and brings out sin, and offers it to anyone with half a mind to drink it in. He's a gust of wind to a house of cards. The city sweeps its homeless into unfriendly hands at the best of times, bulldozing through their economic sin, committing a much deeper crime, and everybody knows that it's a house of cards that they're burying. Well, engineers and architects and city planners with no respect for what goes up must come down on the heads of everyone knows. It's a house of cards. The city sweeps its homeless into unfriendly hands at the best of times, bulldozing through their economic sin, committing a much deeper crime, and everybody knows that it's a house of cards that they're burying. Engineers and architects and city planners with no respect for what goes up must come down on the heads of everyone else. No. It's a house of cards. 10 years, just a decade, just a moment. I came, I saw, I struggled, I tried. Born and slept and awakened to you. Loving the darkness, loving the light. 10 years, it's a moment, it's molecular. All strung out behind you like silk rope. Every strand in a braid of hope. Half-life of an isotope. Loving the darkness, loving the light. I don't regret what I feel, know what I have to say. I won't be feeling nothing when I'm sleeping in clay. Ten years, it depends on how you focus. Sometimes it's lush, other times it's locusts. It ain't nothing new, and it never gets old. Loving the darkness, loving the light. I called her Syracuse. She never liked the blues. She understood our truth, though she always acted bruised. Long red hair tumbled down, she could have worn a crown. She never put on airs, because she lived upstairs. Oh yeah, her green eyes flare. She tells me what and where, and sometimes I don't move till she's no longer there. I called her Syracuse. She never asked me why. She was too smart for that. Thought it might spring some trap. She always laughed it off, or covered with a cough. She never put on airs when we made love upstairs. Oh yeah, her green eyes flare. She tells me what and where, and sometimes I don't breathe till she's no longer there. Don't tempt me with your lips, don't tempt my fingertips, for every memory's bruised. I called her Syracuse. And finally when you figured out you got twice as much to lose, 'cause every crime of passion comes in twos. Don't tempt me with your lips, don't touch my fingertips, for every memory's bruised. I called her Syracuse. Now every corner's bent, no straight lines ever met, and every angle's used inside of Syracuse. Watch it, babe. You never can tell who's out here tonight. Watch it, babe. Anybody here could have or be a night. If I was flush, I wouldn't be bothering you. Oh, I've had lots of money, but for a woman's love there is no substitute. No substitute. Watch it, babe. You never can tell who's out here tonight. Watch it, baby. There's people out here still searching for your paradise. Make you swallow your pride. If I led you to believe I was someone else, there was voices in my head taking turns, grabbing for the shell, grabbing for the shell. Watch it, babe. Me and my friends don't walk the streets before midnight. Hey, cool it, Dave. I'm not looking for trouble, but I won't back down from a fight. Maybe no one's right, maybe no one's wrong. Well, love is vague, Only actions make the difference if your heart is strong. If your heart is strong, if your heart and your hands are strong. Watch it, babe. You always spin your wheels before you crash. Come to dinner and it's dine and dash. Always on your way. Baby, come and turn out the lights. You say you're sorry as if it's true. We know you got better things to do. Always on your way. Baby, come and turn out the lights. A subtle look, a touch, a thrill, reminds me what I feel and always will. You try to make things right before you go, but we both know it's just for show. You plead for mercy before dessert, up and on your way before you're hurt. Why'd you come to play? Baby, come and turn out the lights. A subtle look, a touch, a thrill, reminds me what I feel and always will. You try to make things right before you go, but we both know is just for show.
You plead for mercy before dessert, up and on your way before you're hurt. Why'd you come to play?
Baby, come and turn out the lights.
Come back when you got some time to spend. Here's your coat, here's your hair. What's your hurry, my friend? Always on your way. Baby, come and turn out the lights.
I came down to London town to see what I could see. The Queen came through, and what'd she do? All over me. Well, I was just passing through like a hole in your shoe. I'll settle for more. The Queen, she cried, and before she hid it, I made it to the door. Made it to the door. Suddenly I was free, but I didn't know what to do. Then I got lucky oh, so very lucky when I ran into you. I got lucky, oh, I got lucky when I ran into you. When you don't know how to grin and your pants are getting thin and all they can see is your ass, well, you can grab for all the gold that your little hands can hold, but somehow I think it won't last. If there's a porch light at the end of the tunnel, if there's a dream at the end of the hall, and it's a many-faceted Jew, even to a fool, when all you can think of is love. When you don't know how to dance, there's a rocket in your pants, and all she wants to show you is the moon. Well, just remember from the start, be careful with her heart, and she might be careful with you. There's a porch light at the end of the tunnel, if there's a dream at the end of the hall, then it's a many-faceted Jew, even to a fool, when all you can think of is love. Well, I'm sitting at the bottom of a well, a farewell of my own choosing. You see, I come to drink the water, but the water's all turned to dust. And I stopped to think about it, how maybe this was similar. And I thought I saw you standing there, or maybe it's your ghost. Tell the truth, man. What's the truth, man? I ain't making no more plans until I understand where you're coming from, where you're going to. Tell the truth, man. What's the truth, man? I ain't making no more plans unless I understand where you're coming from, where you're going to. Well, I'm sitting at a table with a few of my companions. Some are happy, some are healthy, and some don't give a damn. And your song comes on the radio, and I turn to go, but before I get 3 steps, they know I know how much I miss you. Tell the truth, man. What's the truth, man? I ain't making no more plans until I understand where you're coming from, where you're going to. You tell the truth, man. What's the truth, man? I ain't making no more plans until I understand where you're coming from, where you're going to. At the bottom of a well, a farewell of my own choosing. You see, I come to drink the water, but the water's all turned to dust. And I stopped to think about it, how maybe this was similar. And I thought I saw you standing there, or maybe it's your ghost. Mama done calling you, you're in trouble now. You should have spoke up sooner, you should have sharpened your plow. You got a dirty shirt, blood all over your hands, just like everybody else. You got a master plan. Your mama's done calling you, you better turn it around. Nobody left to blame, 'cause they're all in the ground. Mama's done calling you. Do you have any regrets? Everyone's talking about it, and we're all making bets. Well, you must have called your mama, called your family too. You must have called your mama, someday gonna call you. Daddy died with pneumonia, and baby brother, sister too. Nobody left but you and mama, and I see John calling you. Your mama done calling you, you better turn it around. Nobody left to blame, they're all in the ground. Your mama's done calling you, you're in trouble now. You should have spoke up sooner, you should have sharpened your plow. You got a dirty shirt, you got blood on your hands,
just like everybody else. You got a master plan. Everyone's talking about it. We're all making bets. Your mama's done calling you. Do you have any regrets?